Hi students, I am Shaileyee welcoming you to the Medical and Pharmacy Crash Course division in the Knowledge Club online. You know, we are going through the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, which is second chapter of the class 12 syllabus. I divided this chapter into 4 parts for 4 episodes for you only. In the previous episode, we learned about the second part of sexual reproduction. We learned on pollination, types of self-pollination, types of cross-pollination, agents of pollination, wind, water, animal, insects and birds in descriptive form and significance. If you missed that episodes, please visit the channel for learning, or you will find that links of that episode in this video's description part. So today I will discuss the third part of sexual reproduction in flowering plants, that is the post-pollination events. It's called the double fertilization. Don't skip the lecture. If you skip, you can miss a valuable points in between lecture for your exam. So stay tuned up to end. I am going to start today's episode. Let's start. The process of fertilization was discovered by Strasburger in 1884. After pollination, the intestine of pollen grain forms pollen tube through weak areas on axin, the germ pole. The growth of pollen tube is stimulated by the sugary substances produced in stigma. The pollen tube with 2 male gametes and tube nucleus runs through the style and finally turns towards the micropylar end of the ovule in the cavity of ovary. The length of pollen tube depends on the length of styles. So, the length of pollen tube depends on the length of styles. Depending on the internal structure, the styles are of 2 types. Number 1, hollow style. Number 2, solid style. Then what's the hollow style? Hollow style means it has a wide canal which is lined by canal cells. And what is the solid style? Solid style means it bears conductive tissue instead of canal. The cells of the tissue have thick pectin wall. In hollow style, pollen tube enters on the surface of canal cells. In solid style, entry of pollen tube is intercellular through conductive tissue. When the pollen tube enters through the micropylar end of the ovule for fertilization, it is called porogamy. When the pollen tube enters through the micropylar end of the ovule for fertilization, what's called porogamy. However, in Cassionaria, Juglans regia, Betula, pollen tubes enters the embryo sac through the base, means chalaza of the ovule, and it's called chalazogamy. When pollen tube enters the embryo sac through the base, the chalaza of the ovule, it's called chalazogamy. When the pollen tube passes through the integument's, it is called mesogamy. When passes through the integument's, it is called mesogamy. On piercing the nucleus, the pollen tube penetrates the embryo sac. It still penetrates into the embryo sac and reaches the egg apertures, passing either between the egg and synergids or between one synergid and wall of the embryo sac. Ultimately, the tip of the pollen tube ovary the process of fertilization. Burst and 2 male gametes are discharged. the tube nucleus disorganizes before bursting of pollen tube. Tube nucleus disorganizes before bursting of pollen tube. One of these male gametes fuses with the egg cell or oosphere, the gamete, causing fertilization, as a result of which diploid oospore or zygote is formed. The other gametes fuses with the secondary nucleus, the triple fusion, forming the triploid endosperm nucleus, which later on gives rise to endosperm. Thus, the process of fertilization, which occurs twice in the same embryo sac at a time by the two male gametes, the zygamy and triple fusion, is called double fertilization. Then what's called the double fertilization? The process of fertilization which occurs twice in the same embryo sac at a time by the two male gametes. The process of fertilization was discovered by S.G. Nawazchin 1897 in Lineam and Fritillaria species. Then what's the significance of double fertilization? Double fertilization is found in angiosperms only. In angiosperms, female gametophyte abruptly stops its growth at 8 nucleate stage. Further growth of the embryo sac occurs only when the zygote has been formed and the primary endosperm nucleus has been created by triple fusion. The triple fusion initiates the formation of the endosperm. The endosperm is formed only when it is needed. The need arises after fertilization because the endosperm provides nutrition for the simultaneously developing embryo. If fertilization fails, no endosperm will be formed. Thus, there will be wastage of energy in the development of endosperm. There is no such provision in gymnosperms, therefore, no wastage of energy on this account in angiosperms. So revise it. I am very much sure of that. You will require less time to remember all this process. Write me at the comment box how much you enjoyed and time take to remember the whole system after viewing today's lecture. Next episode, we will discuss on the post-fertilization process. Before ending today's episode, if you like this video, then like, share and comments freely. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. If you like this video, please like, share and comments freely. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. If you already subscribed, then thanks a lot. After subscribing our channel, please click on the bell button for getting the regular updates. I am coming with another episode very shortly. Till then, goodbye.